Believe me when I say this particular update, you don't want to miss it at all. What you're about to hear will honestly shock you. Since the announcement of that new opposition coalition, ADC, Atiku, and Rufai, Peter Obi has been under serious fire. Now, the opposition are saying that these people here, it is not like they have the people's interest at heart, but because of their serious hatred towards President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. To add more spice, Peter Obi himself said he only wants one term to govern, but looking at the current mess in this country, people are asking, how much can really be done in 4 years? On top of that, PDP is trying everything to bring Obi back to their party. So the big question is, why is everyone chasing after Peter Obi? From ADC to PDP to his former party, Labour Party. What exactly is the game plan? Now, before I play you the full clip of what the PDP chieftain Dan Ulazi said about wooing Peter Obi back to their party, I want to hear from you. If you had the chance to advise Peter Obi today, what would you say to him? Feel free to drop your honest opinion in the comments.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, Chief, two things clearly on the table. One, Mr. Peter Obi returning to the PDP. And then two, Mr. Peter Obi promising that he will do only one term only, which many Nigerians have received with skepticism on the grounds that, well, these promises are easy. When you get to that office, the reality is a different thing. The calculations are different. That's one. The second other issue that I would like you to react to is Minister Nyesom Wike giving the PDP conditions about whether Chief Dan Obi is still the national vice chairman, South or not, and whether another event that was held, bringing up another person in the also in the South can hold or not. And that if nobody listens to him, the convention scheduled for November will not hold. And he gave those conditions. So one member of the party giving conditions, declaring conditions under which the convention can hold. This is not an evidence, clear evidence, that the PDP that we're even talking about is in ICU, as Senator Suswam once proclaimed on this same program.
I will say good morning again for having me. You know, in this country we have what we call free speech, enshrined in our constitution. You know, you have the capacity to say what you like and how you like it, for as long as you don't abuse or blackmail anybody to the point that might necessitate his going to court to challenge what you have said. But I have to start by saying that, democracy depends on, several doses of civility. And the underlying word is civility, which most people, even in politics, do not understand. And because they don't, they exhibit some form of a reflective instinct towards self-preservation. And this reflective instinct that gives them rise to self-preservation makes them be stoking paranoia, and it's a very dangerous thing to happen. So you see people who take oath for unsurpassed devotion to duty, when indeed what they mean is to have taken oath for unsurpassed devotion to stealing money. And that's why the country has not moved. So coming back to your question, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, most people, the elite, the so-called educated, tend to forget that the Constitution says 4-year term. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria gives you a 4-year term. So that Constitution presumes that in 4 years, you should be able to make an impression, an impactful impression on your society. It's only when you do very, very well and you desire for a second term that you ask for a second term, which they may or may not give you. Because there are many places in this country where people zone offices just for 4 years. You do and somebody else goes. It doesn't mean that you must finish what you started, but if you have a project that is good and somebody else comes in, he will finish it. And I give you an example. If you come into Enugu now, we have one of the best governors in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Most of the projects abandoned over the past 16, 20 years. Coming to Enugu is like you're entering London. Beautiful. You can see how the governor is, rehabilitating and finishing all the projects. So, in effect, Peter saying that he will do 4 years, I think it is sacrosanct. It's, by all standards in Nigerian politics, is a very honest person, a good Christian. He doesn't talk from both sides of his mouth. So I believe him that he will do it in 4 years. Anybody, if you discuss, I would like people to have him on television on this Arise platform. And if you listen to him, you will see and believe that he will do everything he wants to do, maybe not 100%, in 4 years. That's what the Constitution presupposes, that if they felt that you can't do most things you have pledged to do in 4 years, they would have said giving it 5 or 6 years. So Peter hasn't said anything out of point. It's his belief that in 1 year you should be able to do proper analysis, even before you come into office. Do a proper analysis for what your vision is and how to implement that vision. The only thing that people have a vision of stealing money, and all the time they are thinking of how to steal that money, and not anything that will be impactful to the common people.
But Chief, how about Wike's PDP and the proposal that Mr. Peter Obi should return to Wike's PDP?
Well, you see, like I normally say, the last interview I had on this platform, I said the problem with Wike, people, I don't believe in going to the end result without going where the experiment started. Some years ago, the whole 17 Southern governors, PDP and APC alike, met at Asaba and decided that all candidates of the two major political parties for the presidency must come from the South. APC did the same thing. PDP did not do it. The zoning committee that was headed by Samuel Otom, former governor of Benue State, who was supposed to, because governor of Ugwan Ifeanyi of Enugu State, headed the committee for zoning party offices and the zone chairmanship to the north and secretary to the south, which was obeyed. The one headed by Otom was supposed to zone elective offices, and coming to presidency, he remained silent, which was regarded as sabotage. And that time I mentioned it, that something is amiss. It was that silence that enabled Atiku Abubakar to run, because his party did not zone anything to anywhere. Unfortunately, he ran and he lost. So since then, the crisis has been on and on. It is that crisis that Wike took advantage of, because he ran in that election, himself and a couple of other people, and had believed that if he ran and without the interference of Atiku Abubakar, he would have won and possibly would have been president of Nigeria today. So since then, things have not been normal between Wike and the PDP. In fact, 2 months to that election in 2003, I traveled to Port Harcourt and I met with him for hours before I came back to Enugu. So to appeal to him, let bygone be bygone, that our party is supreme. Let us try to win election. But he didn't quite accept my plea. So like I said, constitutionally he has free speech, free behavior pattern, anything, free association. So he decided that with what PDP did, that there was no basis of trusting them anymore, unfortunately.
Okay, what about this concept of luring Peter Obi back to the PDP? I think Dr. Abati alluded to this, and this is a conversation that's gaining momentum. However, I want to put it aside some comments from Senator Olujime, who just ported from the PDP to APC recently. She said that, well, she left the PDP because the PDP has nothing to offer anybody. I paraphrase. So it's quite intriguing that in the public space, there's conversations of, luring Peter Obi to the PDP. Your thoughts? Do you think that he would be the right flag bearer for the PDP? And do you think that the PDP would enhance or hinder his chances going towards 2027?
Well, I'm happy you mentioned the fellow Olujimi, or whatever he calls himself. You would have asked him, what has he offered to PDP? People are always looking, because we are no more in federal government and there is no money to share, they are going to where they will share money. Isn't that very unfortunate that somebody of that standing in Nigerian politics is leaving PDP because they have nothing to offer? What has he offered to make PDP better? 2 weeks ago, we had the founders and stakeholders meeting. I was there. The next day, we had a NEC meeting, and virtually all our governors were there, setting up committees to try to make the party, a lot more productive so that we can stand the election of 2027 coming. So once people leave because of one, interest, maybe financial, maybe otherwise, but tell me, I stood behind the Kweme when we were forming PDP, how many years ago? And if I have to leave PDP today, there has to be a compelling reason that tells me that where I'm going is better than where I'm living. Can anybody tell me in this country whether APC is better than PDP, even in opposition? They are even speaking like opposition party who know that they're in government. So what will attract me going over to APC? Nothing. With all the parties, all the governors they have, there's nothing exciting about them. So if anybody is leaving PDP to go there, there must be something else other than political process that is pushing him to go there. So Wike's comment, like I said, is a result of that problem that came up in 2023, and since then, it's not been well with the party, not just Wike as a person.
What about Peter Obi as the PDP flag
in last NEC meeting? Well, if the party wants to seriously contest for this election, Peter has evolved as a national political figure to all intents and purposes. And these are the discussions, part of the committees the party is forming, we look into. We still have a long time. This is 2025, next year 2026. So between now and the end of the year, the party will start taking decisions, looking forward. We're trying to rehabilitate the problems we have in one way or the other. So the next major process will be our convention coming up in November, which I'm a member of the committee to stage the convention. Thereafter, then we'll start, as soon as we have permanent party officers now, okay. New chairman, new secretary, everybody. Then the next thing is to start talking about 2027. Okay. So we want first to rebuild the party, the National Working Committee, the NEC, and then we start talking of public office. We don't want to count 2 before counting 1. Okay. So like I said, Peter Obi is a viable product that any party that has him will have some level of advantage. Okay. It's a reference point in this country. Okay. By all means.
Chief,
so if PDP desires to approach him, okay, I will support that.
Okay, Chief, I know you're a strong member of the PDP, but is it fair to bring a Peter Obi into the disarray called the PDP, as the PDP is being run by Wike as we speak? Somebody that has said he can cause crisis if things don't go his way. He has caused crisis before, put you in limbo. Because as far as I'm concerned, Chief, you might want to oppose me. Wike owns PDP as we speak today. Tomorrow, things might change. That's why I say you have a right. It's free speech to oppose me. Wike owns PDP today. In fact, I sang a song this morning. Yes. I said he's got the PDP in his hands. So that's where Wike stands today. So you think it's fair to bring a Peter Obi into that fray? What about the talk of Goodluck Jonathan also being mentioned in some quarters within the folk of the PDP? And you ask a question, let me play devil's advocate. You say, why are people going to the APC? They are going to the APC because APC is in power. Your party has not been in power for over how many years now? Going to 10 years or over 10 years. They are going to APC because it gives them stability. One person owns your party. APC has been able to wriggle their way through their challenges. They are going to APC because the party has the president and they feel they are on a better footing as we speak. So they are going for a better option as we speak today. The APC is a whole lot better than your party that is in disarray, that you don't even know what the future or the next thing is from. Chief, probably if people like you were approached by the APC today, you would like to go to certainty also. Is APC not certainty? Is PDP not uncertainty? As Wike stated back in the days, APC is cancer, PDP is malaria. Today, APC is malaria, PDP is cancer. What do you say to that, Chief?
Well, you have used very strong words, Rufai. I like your analysis very much. But the human behavior is not a function of statistics. In politics, most times 1 + 1 is not 2. In fact, it could be 100, and once people accept it, it becomes the official figure. So that people are leaving PDP to go to APC does not make APC any better than PDP. It shows that people have no values. That is why the country is now moving. You don't know where somebody, okay, look at the president of Senate, for instance. He was an 8-year governor of Akwa Ibom State. There are many of them like that. Recently, the whole Delta moved to APC. Akwa Ibom just moved to APC. Can you tell me as a journalist, what is it they will find in APC that they could not do in Rivers State, in Delta State or Akwa Ibom State, where as PDP governors they were performing and doing very well? So people don't have values, and when they don't have values, they are given to accepting anything that comes before them. I have been in PDP now since the inception of the party. I have not been a commissioner, not a director of anything. But most of the sensitive things they do, they invite me. I was chairman of the screening panel for Northeast in 2003. 2010, I screened the whole Northeast. Most of our governors today pass through me. These are the kind of resolve you have as a party member to make a contribution, not necessarily pecunious. A lot of people come into this business because they want to make money. And that is why the country is not moving. We must have to have honor and values that you cherish. If you don't have that, and like I said, somebody moving, I see the comments being made even on your station about the hunger in this country. From the time of Buhari, as far as I was concerned, that was 8 years of no governance, nothing happened. And then President Tinubu came up, and in difference to Tinubu, I said, anybody else coming into office after Buhari would have had the same problem Tinubu is having. The only thing that he might have a different methodology to be able to iron out things. The country has slumped so much that there's no magic. You only need some level of determination to do something. And if people desire that Peter Obi, from his record as governor of Anambra State, his integrity, his honesty, he's one governor, nobody has ever pointed an accusing finger on him, positive or negative, negative. Every reference made of Peter Obi is positive. And this country requires somebody like him, at least to give hope. Governance is not just about only constructing road and doing that. You give hope. Because politics depends on doses of civility. This civility we haven't seen. And it's talking paranoia.
Sir, with due respect, is this Chief Danulasi I'm talking to?
Yes.
You, the same you that spoke against Peter Obi, as of 2017, that said he divided Anambra. The same you, Chief. Is it you that are speaking today glowingly about Peter Obi? Because I'm surprised.
Why don't you put me in proper perspective. I said in that interview, I think it was on this channel, that we were with him in a meeting. We had a meeting in Enugu and went to Oka, and he told us that he was desirous of being a presidential candidate. And thereafter he left the PDP and went to Labour Party. And I condemned it. If not on your station, on AIT or other stations, I condemned it. I didn't harbor that behavior, and I told him. He came to my house. I said, what you did was, unfortunate. But still, even though he did that and I didn't like it, he had the right to do it. He had the right. He had the constitutional right to do it. That is how he wanted to, exhibit his interest in political leadership. But I didn't support that. So what I'm saying is not in contradiction to what I said in the past. Absolutely not. And since then, have I left PDP myself? I have not.
Okay, Chief.
But if PDP sees that as a good candidate, like you said we are cancerous now, which I don't believe. We have 10 governors. And these 10 governors can come together honestly and sincerely to see a committee that can reorganize this party. The sky will be our limit.
But Chief,
we can challenge this government.
Chief, you are mistaking my point. Chief, you had condemned and you had constantly, there are facts on ground that you are constantly being at loggerheads against Obi about his tenure in Anambra. So it is the same tenure that you were against in Anambra and Obi's politics in Anambra that you are praising him today, that is a man of integrity and all of that. I'm asking you, Chief, what changed? That's all I'm asking.
Can I put it to you?
Put it to me, Chief.
Excuse me, I put it to you. What you are saying is fallacy of generalization. I have never condemned Peter Obi's governorship in Anambra State.
Okay, Chief.
If you present that fact, I will resign today from political process in this country. No, excuse me, Dr. Ruben.
No.
He cannot put into my mouth what I did not say. I've never condemned Peter Obi.
Anyway, Chief.
Yes,
look, as a human being, as a citizen, you have the right to change your mind, whatever the circumstance may be. After all, you started by saying there's freedom of speech. So you can like somebody today, you may not like the person tomorrow. It's within your prerogative. That's not for me a big issue. What is big issue is this. Professor Jerry Ghana says Mr. Peter Obi will be happily received back into the fold of the PDP. Now, you know Nyesom Wike very well. It's Minister Nyesom Wike who gives conditions in the PDP. Will he be willing to receive Mr. Peter Obi back into the fold? Because it is what he decides that matters. And you are talking about November convention. When Wike has said there are conditions on the basis of which that convention can hold. Why are you so sure?
Well, Dr. Abati, you have known me since you worked with Jonathan. You know I'm not somebody who talks from both sides of my mouth. What I have in my mind, I say it and I defend it. I've never played a second fiddle. I gave you a background why I find it difficult to condemn Wike because of the antecedents of what happened in 2023. I had said this, and I don't see why it should be confusing to anybody. He felt that he was short-changed, and therefore he had to react the way. Maybe I would not have reacted the same way up to now. And the party lost out. Part of the committee we set up in Abuja in PDP now is to see how most of our governors were there. Wike is not a magician. Politics is not magic. The party took a decision on a number of items without Wike's input. He wasn't in the meeting, and 7 of our 10 governors were there, effectively discussing how this party can move forward. So the concept that because Wike is helping the party, in this country, people only come to party when there is election, unfortunately. But people who regularly foot the bills, especially we have only 10 states now. We are paying staff salaries in all the states. Somebody has to do that. Somebody has to assist. And people are not interested until the election comes. They all run and pay 50 million, 30 million to want to be president or governor of this. That is not party management. That is why the country is not moving forward. There must be loyal members of the party seen in situ to be working for the survival of that party. Not just about election. Ultimately, if election comes and the party is organized, they will win. But if the party is not organized, there's no magic about their winning. So what I'm saying is that's why I laid the foundation of what happened in 2023, why Wike behaved the way he did. I'm not justifying it, but he has a right to do what he did. Because if Atiku did not run, and Wike or somebody else appeared in the South, like Tinubu appeared in the South, we would have had either a Wike or Ugwanyi or some presidency from the South. But unfortunately, Tinubu had a chance and became president, and is running for a second term. So I don't see where what I have said is any contradictory. Absolutely not.
So that's it. Honestly, this whole Peter Obi situation is getting more interesting by the day. With all these parties chasing him, ADC, PDP, even talk from Labour Party, it clear say 2027 go out. But here's the real concern. If he eventually accepts one of these offers, what does that mean for his supporters? And if he insists on running one term, can it really make a difference in just 4 years? Especially with the way things are going in this country. Let me know your take in the comments. I beg, no insults, just honest opinions. If you were in Obi's shoes, what would you do? And I beg, before you go, make sure you like this video, share it to someone who needs to hear it, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Turn on that notification bell today if you haven't already. And trust me, you won't be disappointed. It not gonna cost you anything, but it helps this platform to grow. Thanks for watching once again. I'll see you in the next one.